Hey, Xiomy here. So today I'm going to give you my April wrap-up video. I did read a couple of books. I read both physical and e-books. So I'm going to get into this because some I really did enjoy reading. Others were okay to read. So it's been brought to my attention that I use the word amazing a lot. So I'm going to try and deviate from that word as much as I can in this video. So let's see how well I do. The first one that I'm going to mention is A Midsummer's Night's Dream. This is a William Shakespeare retelling and it's by Xiomy and Muniz, and I highly enjoyed this book. This is a graphic novel and it is a retelling of one of Shakespeare's most famous plays. I've never read that play, but I really did enjoy reading it because it is in graphic format and, you know, more visible to me. The graphic was very beautiful and, you know, there were some quotes that I really did enjoy, and also does explain some of the quotes because one of them I really didn't understand. But, you know, the graphic is very beautiful and I enjoyed reading this book. It was really cute. I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because it was just very beautiful to read and the cover is very beautiful. So I really did enjoy reading this book. The next book that I'm going to mention is one that both had me loving it and also hating it at the same time. Do you ever have that book where you have these two emotions that are just mixed up inside of you and you don't know what to do? But the book that I'm referring to is The Whispers of the Fallen by J.D. Netto. And this book is basically about two kids who are just thrusted into this weird, crazy situation and they don't even know what to say or what to think about, but they grow as individuals throughout the book. And when you know that you have certain outcomes like thought out, boom, it's just like, you know, whatever you thought about, just throw it in the garbage because it ain't happening. It just ain't happening. This is an adventure-packed book from beginning to end. I loved certain characters. Some characters you just basically feel for them because they're so well, to me they were so well thought out and they were presented very well. You have this character development, and then when you have this character development just being thrusted upon you, it's like boom, nope, we're taking him away from you. But the ending of this book just redeemed everything for me because I was so mad. I was like, no, bad guys cannot win. That cannot happen because that is not physically going to happen. I am going to burn this book if that actually does happen. But I really did love this book because it's basically where you have book bearers and they have certain books to them. They try, and these demons or Nephilim are trying to awaken Lucifer, and they have to awaken Lucifer through these books. But it is a whirlwind adventure from beginning to end, and I honestly cannot wait to read the second book. I really did enjoy reading The Whispers of the Fallen by J.D. Netto, and I gave it, I think it was 4.5 stars out of 5, but I really highly suggest that you read this and I can't wait for the second book. The next book that I'm going to mention is I Am Malala, the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. I do want to make the 5 reasons to read this book because I really did enjoy this book, and this book is very reminiscent of the fact that you should be humble and grateful for where you were born. And the fact that she was, you know, shot for standing up for education is something that's very empowering for you to read. And I really did enjoy reading this book, and I have a lot of quotes that I really did enjoy from it. So I honestly suggest that you read this book because it was amazing. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I simply loved it. I do say that, or I am gonna say that this book is a little bit slow in the beginning because all the history, or you know, the information that you're being bombarded with about her background, life, and basically where she lives, and also the writing could use a little bit of help. But overall I did enjoy this book, and I'm still gonna give it 5 out of 5 because, you know, it made you reminisce of the fact that you should be humbly grateful as to where you live or as to where you were born. And I can't appreciate this book enough. It was just simply astounding and it was brilliant, and I just loved reading about Malala. The next and final book that I'm going to mention in physical format, because the rest are ebooks, is Aristotle and Dante's Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I loved this book. I also did 5 reasons to read this book because this book was simply astounding. It was brilliant. It was magnificent. So many adjectives, positive adjectives that I can just throw out to this book. And this is basically a coming of age story where you have Aristotle and Dante, and they basically just, once they discover themselves, they go on this venture to just self-discovery and to discover themselves, who they are in this world and their own bodies and themselves as individuals in general. You have these two Mexican Americans who are just befriended one another, and you know, they go on this adventure with one another, and it's just beautiful how their friendship blossoms into something else. And I honestly really did enjoy reading this book, and there's some quotes that I really did also enjoy from this book. And honestly, this book is just beautiful as to how the power of friendship can lead you to so many outcomes. You also have the flawed of their parents because, you know, nobody's perfect. But I also have to say that Dante reminded me a lot of my friend Mike, because Dante didn't like, you know, shoes or sneakers or anything like that. He always wanted to be barefoot. It just reminded me of one of my closest friends, and it's Mike. You know, he doesn't like being with shoes and would just run around anywhere without shoes, and to this day he still does that. So I honestly really did enjoy this book. You have these emotions that are mixed up. I mean, it's happy at times, then it's sad at times, and sometimes you would just want to cry because there's so many emotions that are just happening. But I highly suggest that, you know, you read this. And this book also, you know, opened my eyes that I want to read more about Hispanic writers and, you know, Hispanic characters in general, because the fact that, you know, Hispanic words were being woven throughout the book is something that I really did appreciate, and I did really enjoy, and I really did like this book. The next ebooks that I'm going to mention, or comic books that I read Justice Gods Among Us Year 3, and I really did enjoy that comic book. The fact that they brought in new characters, they brought Constantine, Dr. Fate, Zatanna was even brought even more, but I really did enjoy it because it didn't make me cry that much. But you know, Wonder Woman also came back in, and I really did love what she did. Honestly, I just loved it, and I really did enjoy reading that book. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I'm going to mention is The Lost Herondale by Cassandra Clare and somebody else, which I can't remember right now, but all I'm gonna say is that the title of the book is so true to the outcomes or the events throughout the book, and I really enjoyed reading this book. The final book that I'm going to mention is also a Shadowhunter Academy book. It's The Whitechapel Fiend, and I really did enjoy reading this book. I also gave it 5 out of 5. The fact that also Jace Herondale was back in the game is something that I really did enjoy reading about. Those are all the books that I read for the month of April. If you read any of those books or you want to let me know down below if you thought differently than I did, then, you know, feel free. I would love to know your thoughts about it. But that's all that I read. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.